something wrong with the internet connection. So the video ended. So if you saw or know my pretty classic set with a few big flowers and lots of tiny small hydrangeas and a few leaves, I call them wild rose and hydrangea sets. When I first time created this set, I normally was spending sometimes 3.5 hours for making this one. Today's morning, I had a chance to check this timing once again, because I got an order for new colors, and I didn't have any prepared petals, pre-cut petals for this, so I had a chance to start from scratch. And what I got, it took me 1 hour and 15 minutes to make this set from just sheets of paper to packed in box flowers. So my speed just rapidly increased, like almost 3 times, just because of huge amount of practice. Now I have some types of flowers I can make with like closed eyes, really. Some flowers still take me for a while. For example, I'll show you during this week, probably maybe next week, when I have a time to take a photo. I got an order from my old customer to make a set of ranunculus for her. There are lots of ladies who make these flowers from crepe papers, and they look gorgeous. And I never ever seen any paper florist who make this type of flowers using just cardstock. And I said to my customer, I have no this particular paper. I don't know this technique. I have no this, and I have no time actually. Sorry, let's make something different for your event. She said, no, I want this, and I'm sorry, dear. I'm happy to challenge you, and I know you're a good one. You will definitely make these flowers. This is the photo of my cake, and I want exactly the same flowers which are on the cake. Do you want me to show you right now what I made? So I'll show you the photo of the cake later. So these are, you see? Well, they look a little bit different to what other ladies make from crepe papers, but I realized this, and I made them first with this different, still the same idea, centers, but she said, no, I don't want them like original, like in nature. I want them like this, because exactly the same look is on the cake. So can you imagine? She said she wants these particular flowers, and I had no any idea how to make them. So in between these orders during the week, which I can make with my eyes closed, I had this order for 3 freestanding ranunculus made from cardstock. That's a good challenge. Go and make them, Anastasia. We believe in you. We know you will be able to make them. Please deliver. And that's it. So this order took me for a couple of days and a pack of paper, because I just tried one, thought, oh no, that's Then I tried another one and thought, well, this is better, but then customer said, I don't want this center, I want this black type of center. So that's hard to say, but I do not actually count this in amount of orders. I do not count this in amount of followers. I do not count this in amount of likes and comments, which very important for promoting your Instagram. Actually, I do not care about all of this. Well, when we come to Sydney Paper Flowers as a business, what I do count is my money on my bank account. Really, that when we come to business, that's the only I do care about. No followers will buy me dinner. No any followers will pay for my bills. I need to have some money. So if I have lots of orders, but then there's no money in the end of the story, that's not a business. That's a hobby. Well, maybe paid hobby, just from time to time. No, when you come to this stage when it is already business, especially if you have any employees, so you need to pay salaries, or well, you hire a studio and you rent a studio and you need to pay for this studio on a monthly basis. You cannot just just make art. It's good if you have a chance to make art and really enjoy what you do, but you need to consider money is pretty important part of this journey now, and you need to count on them. So here we come to pricing. This is a huge, absolutely different topic to talk about. I already got a few questions from you here. How do you price? How do you make prices for your flowers? If you want, just let me know. If you want to we talk about how to price properly to get income finally, not to just to spend money for nothing, for just for your pleasure. I can tell you how do I do this, but yeah, for now, what I count, not amount of orders, but how much money I have. And if I see that I'm busy and there's no money in the end of the month, because all money were spent for purchasing new papers or something, or paying for advertisements, no, that was not a good month. So I need to get money on my account in the end of the month. So this means business is going well. So yeah, that's it. Let's go through your questions. Looks like we a little bit lost a few questions from our previous live, but I'll definitely answer them, and I'll save the live and I'll answer these questions in the post. Or if you have any specific ones, you just can ask now. I believe you can only be on live for an hour, but you can save it. Yeah, definitely. I saved this. I hope you can see this now. And beautiful work. Thank you. Is that from cardstock? Yes, these ranuncles were made from cardstock, and a little bit later I will make a tutorial on how to make them, because I found that this technique is pretty interesting and no one else is making them from cardstock. So I'll share with you. And what else? The question in Russian. Thank you, amazing. You explain very well. Even with basic English, I can understand you. Thank you for this beauty. Come visit us in St. Petersburg. Next time I'm in Russia, I hopefully will, just because we want to. We've been living in St. Petersburg for a few years with our family, and our daughter, she wants to see this beautiful city, so one day we definitely will visit you. Yes, please talk about pricing. I struggle with it. Yes, I will definitely do, but in a separate live, I will announce when we will do this live, just because that's a really big topic to talk about, and I'm happy to share with you what to do and what not to do. Struggling with pricing as well. Lindo Tramba. No, I can't. Simona the Barros. Yeah. I hope this is something nice. I cannot read this. Thank you for inspiring all of us and giving us hope to be as good as you. Always welcome. How do you stick your beautiful flowers to the wall? Thank you. What is offered with courses? If you want to purchase any tutorial, you can go to our Etsy shop. Just use the link in our profile, and then when you see the listing in Etsy, you can, please, I beg you, just go through description. Read this carefully. Sometimes we have troubles with those who buy tutorial and then find, oopsie, that's not what I expected. I expected that and I got this. So what you get is written in the description. What kind of files? What is this tutorial about? So please go and read before buying. So how do I stick flowers on this wall? They sit on blue tack. That's a sticky mass. In US, I'm not sure where are you from. So you see this? That's a sticky mass which comes off pretty easy from the flower. Yeah, when you use a cardstock, you see it stains. It's like a little bit greasy stain. So in US, this you guys call this thumb tuck. Yeah, because that's thumb tuck, right? When you use designer papers to make flowers, that doesn't stain because it's metallic coated, so that's fine. For the surfaces like this, for the wall, it sticks really well. And this size flowers, and even a little bit bigger, they sit on this sticky mass pretty easy. Sometimes I use, well, all these butterflies are on sticky mass as well. And when my customers purchase flowers from me, I provide damage-free removable hooks, so they stick the hook to the wall and they can remove it, taking, like pulling off the sticky part of this hook down, so they release the hook from the wall when they don't need them anymore. So there is a hook on the wall and there is a tiny loop at the back of each flower, so they can hang it, and that's easy when they need to clean the flowers. So they take the flower off, clean this with a duster or a hairdryer, and put it back onto the hook. So what was that? She say beautiful job in Spanish. Thank you. Hi from Indonesian paper florist. Hello. What type of paper do you use? Well, really, this question really freaks me out. Different types of papers. This ranunculus was made from regular cardstock. Most of my other paper flowers I make using designer papers. Depending on the size of flower, depending on the type of flower, I use different papers. Well, the only papers I do not work with for flowers is regular copy papers, which are, let's say, 80 or 90 GSM thick, because they are too thin. They do not keep this shape, and they're too. You can damage flowers made from them pretty easy. And I do not work with anything which is more than 210 GSM. Except 2 new flowers, I will release these video tutorials. They will be in our shop pretty soon because I'm just editing videos now. You probably saw my giant freestanding cornflowers and poppy flowers. They are made from designer board 300 GSM. Just because of size and type and shape of flower petal, so I used thicker papers for them. For other flowers, well, most of the times it's designer papers in 120 GSM, and they are metallic coated, but this may vary. So I can go for cardstock, I can go for thicker or thinner designer papers as well. So what else? Glue dots. No, I do not use glue dots. For example, when we style the wall in for the setup for any event, and there is a freestanding wall, yeah, blue tack in England. But you know what? Pick my paper petals. If your spelling is correct for England, blue as real blue and then tack with C. Here in Australia, the producer, the supplier who makes this blue tack thing, they call it blue without E on the end, and I think in the tack is TACK. I'll double check, but yeah. But the same idea. That's a blue sticky mass. Sticky tack in Canada. Yeah, good to know. You know, that's good to know how we call the same thing in different countries. I'm from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Hello. How often do you suggest cleaning the paper flowers? That's a good question. Hello from Brazil, from Chile. Wait a second. Will I give a tutorial on the standing flowers? We do not give tutorials on freestanding flowers. We sell them because, sorry guys, it takes so much time and effort to make them. Believe me, that's just crazy. So I cannot share them on YouTube for free, but yeah, we sell. And at the moment, there is in our shop, there is only one tutorial for freestanding flowers, and these are for peonies, and I'm finishing now roses, cornflowers and poppy flowers, so they will be released soon. How do you cut it, with cutting machine or scissors? Both, depending on order, depending on type of flower, size of flower, and yeah, turn around, which I can offer. Just to finish this question about how to stick and the glue dots. For example, when we style the freestanding wall, and if this wall is made from either canvas or board or foam or whatever, and we check with customer that they do not plan to use these flowers after the event, so they do not care, they will rip it off and throw to the recycle bin, that's okay. So then, to save our time, what we do, we hot glue flowers right to the freestanding wall which we work on. Sometimes they're fine to damage flowers, but they cannot damage the wall. For example, if that's a real wall in the venue, so then we use damage-free removable hooks. And each flower has, again, the loop. So then I charge for this. If you guys, I mean my customers, if they want the whole wall covered with flowers and all flowers hanging on tiny hooks, I charge for hooks, and I charge for my time for making these loops at the back of each flower. I'll show you. This is what I mean. So you see, but then I need to add this tiny loop each flower. Can you imagine how many flowers will be on the wall, which is 6 square meters? So yeah, that's again about pricing. So that was this, and there was a question about, goodness me, how you suggest to clean. In our previous apartment where I started just making my first flowers, there was one flower, ugly one. I put this in my corridor just to try how it will look in a week or in a month or so, how it will look like. So I put this under the wall. That was 3 years ago, and when we moved out, when we've been cleaning our apartment, and I thought, oh goodness, this is the first flower I made. So 3 years sitting on the wall, I never ever touched this. So 3 years, no dusting. That was dusty actually, but not that bad, I would say. So once in 3 years. Well, when we come to nursery, definitely you should do this more frequently. So maybe once in a couple of weeks, but that's pretty easy. You just take them off, use a feather duster or a hair dryer on the low temperature setting, and that's it. And a few more questions I see now. Will you give? How do you cut with the machine? What kind of cutting machine do you use? Well, I have 3 cutting machines. I have Silo Cameo. I have Cricut Explore Air, and I have my Big Shot. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of Cricut. So I use, and I love Cameo, and I have 2 Cameos actually. One is the newest version of it, which is cordless, and where you can use this USB for cutting, not right from your computer. And my Big Shot machine, which is this when you need to roll this die through 2 rolls inside the machine. So that's a pressure cutting machine for small parts. And that's it. I have Cameo too. Hello, Cameo friends. Which machine is your favorite? Yeah, Cameo. That is it, I think, for now. Well, not sure our life was like only about how I started. Tell me if you have any questions I haven't covered, and I will definitely come back to you. I will scroll down all these questions from the first video, and I'll try to. I won't send you the direct messages. I will try to comment under the last post, so everyone can see my answers. Yeah, and let's set another live if you wish. I can talk about whatever you want to know. Let's do pricing, for example, next time. I'm absolutely open. Just send me your questions, send me your thoughts, send me your direct messages if you have any particular questions you want me to talk about in the next live video. And have a nice day for those who are here in Australia or nearby countries. Have a good night those who are in Canada, Brazil, and US. Anyway, have a nice time with your family. And that was nice to see you and chat with you today. Love your story and how you started. It gives me hope. I give hope. I'm so happy to read this. Yeah. So yeah, have a nice day. Thank you. Bye bye. See you later.